with the. So after retiring from Army, I ventured into the training and managed services, cybersecurity services, and this is part of my give it back to the community, where I try to conduct as many webinars and make people aware as to how certain certifications can help you in going ahead with your career in the information and cybersecurity space, right? So our mission is pretty clear. We have to build at least 1 lakh cyber warriors for providing the talent pool, and we are onto that mission. We've already crossed more than 2,000 people who have done courses with us and are gainfully employed in the industry, right? So how today is career progression happening in the information and cybersecurity industry? Now, a lot of people at times uh, have conflict between understanding as to whether to take on information security career or cybersecurity career, and you'll understand that both the paths collide somewhere, both the paths uh, intersect somewhere. Now, if you keep that in mind, these are the list of certifications which are generally very, very predominant in the information and cybersecurity space. But one certification which stands out the moment you have around 4 to 5 years of experience is the CISSP certification. Now, you might start as an analyst, then you become a senior analyst, and you become a senior manager. CISSP starts becoming important somewhere when you have around 5 years of experience, and that CISSP weightage carries on even when you become a senior consultant or a senior director, and even you become a CISO or a director in a company for information security and further future roles. Now, CISSP definitely forms as the bedrock of the information security leadership in the industry today, whether it's in US or India or Europe. Like, CISSP is regarded as one of the best certifications to have in your kitty. It's definitely an important certification, and it is definitely a difficult certification to pass, not because the exam is difficult or something. It's because the curriculum is very vast. Now, it is very common for students to give up easily because of content being so high, and that's why some little bit of mentorship is required once you are preparing for the CISSP exam, right? These are the general roles and packages which are generally running in the industry today. But one thing is very clear, that people who have CISSP certification, and I know who have more than 15 years of experience and in the industry with the CISSP certification, are generally people who are above this category. They are above at least 45 to 48 lakhs per annum category. Okay, of course, the experience level does matter, but once you have CISSP certification in your kitty, what happens is it provides you with a very, very good avenue to crack multiple interviews. The level of knowledge which it gives you, the level of confidence that it gives you, cannot be compared with any other certification in the industry. Now, CISSP as a certification, that's why carries a very, very important role in your information and cybersecurity careers. Now, if you look at the information and cybersecurity careers, if you are in cybersecurity, if you are in the cybersecurity role, right? Whether you are a pen tester or a network security specialist, okay, whether you are into blue teaming, red teaming, purple teaming, cyber resilience, whatever role you are in, at some point in time you will become a manager, and at some point in time you will go into certain more senior roles, and that's where actually CISSP provides you this leadership ability to maneuver your cybersecurity career to more leadership roles, right? And if you are into an information security career, wherein you have been into GRC, okay, you have been into policy making, you have been into, overall information security of the organization. This also, you've been in audits, okay, you've been in management roles. CISSP is definitely required, and somewhere the path of cybersecurity and information security, they converge. Okay, somewhere at around 5-8 years of experience, they start converging, right? And that's why CISSP is a very, very important certification to have. Now, what is CISSP, and what is the method to madness if you would like to pass this exam, right? First requirement is hard work. Nobody can say that this exam can be passed without hard work. There is a consistent hard work required for this certification to be passed. It requires a dedicated 90 days preparation time. Dedicated means you are not going to miss a day. There's not going to be a single day when you have not studied for at least 2 to 3 hours, right? If you are consistent and dedicated for next 90 days, you can pass this certification in 90 days. Now, I wanted to bring one of my earlier batch students who passed this certification in exactly 56 days. Okay. Now, this gentleman, he started with me, and by the time his weak areas, which was domain 3, he reached there. He booked the exam without telling me and passed the exam even before finishing the course. So he put in his hard work. Within the allotted 90 days, he cleared the exam within 60 days. Okay, so that is what, so it is directly proportional to hard work. Second thing that is required is revision. Okay, you require at least 3 revision of the concepts. You require to visit this content thrice. Okay, now you can visit this content manually by reading the book 3 times, or you can visit this content more smartly by having a mentorship, wherein you go through a mentorship that becomes first revision, second you read the book, second revision, and third is a combined notes which are given you by the mentor, and you can use those notes to pass the exam, right? So that could be one of the good strategies to achieve this 3 revision principle, right? Now, why CISSP? I always say it's a gold standard. No matter what, it is a gold standard in certification. People might pitch you many other certification. Hiring managers are not aware. But those who have prepared for this exam and are going to appear for this exam have very high regard for this exam. Firstly, because this exam is completely impartial, means there are no dumps available. There is, unlike other certifications which you know all about, there are multiple dumps available. This certification actually proves that you have done your hard work. You are ready to burn that, midnight oil to excel from others. Now, it is very easy to buy dumps, go to places where dumps can be managed and passed. This exam does not give you that opportunity. Why? Firstly, because it has a base of more than 10,000 questions inside its examination engine. Okay. Yeah, Adamu, I will take the questions in the end, right? You can chat out your questions. I can read through the question, and definitely I will answer your questions. Let me finish that, and if you have still your questions left, I will definitely answer that, right? So there is a exam engine which is running with 10,000 questions at the back end, and it's an adaptive exam, right? It's a adaptive exam. So what happens is, once you start answering this exam, the domains which you are not well prepared are the domains where the exam will catch on to you, right? So what happens is, say suppose you have not prepared for identity and access management domain very well. What will happen is, if you answer one of the questions not incorrectly, but the exam senses that your concepts are not clear, what the exam engine will modify itself and throw only identity and access management questions at you to see whether your concepts are clear or not, as far as this particular certification is concerned. I see a lot of people who have joined a little late. Don't worry, the recording will be available on the portal. So whatever part you have missed, you can always go through back. No, I'm generally at the beginning. So my first point of telling you about this certification is that, it's a gold standard. It's difficult to prepare for. It establishes your domain expertise. Okay, so you might have a good amount of, experience in, say, 5 domains, but the rest 3 domains are something which you have not worked in. So what will happen is it will give you that, domain knowledge to excel better, right? It will give you enough avenues to, excel your career, and you can effectively design and engineer your uh, information and cybersecurity processes inside your organization. So this was all which I wanted to tell you about the slide game. Now, what happens is, as I told you, it's a gold standard. It's a conceptual certification wherein it doesn't test you about firewalls or controls or anything else. It basically tries to test you on concepts. Okay, it's mile wide. It's very, very wide. Once you look at the content, it touches so many concepts. It literally touches everything that is there today in the cybersecurity and information security domain. It is very well respected, and it is aimed at connecting senior roles once you go ahead in your career journey, right? Now, for giving this exam, what do you require? You require minimum 5 years of experience. You should have the experience in any of the 2 domains. Okay, you can get a waiver if you have a 3 to 4 years of education degree. That is, in India, everyone has. Okay, even if you don't have the requisite experience, you can still pass the certification and can wait for the experience that you will gain over a period of time, and then you can claim your CISSP. Eligibility, there's no eligibility. There's nothing like you have to be 12th or science or arts or graduate like anything. No, there is no eligibility requirement. So be rest assured that if you are not a BTech, or if you're an arts graduate or a commerce graduate, I know people who are commerce graduates and pass this exam. So literally there's no eligibility requirement. Now, what is the preparation time that is required to prepare for this exam? Now, somebody who is very experienced and has worked in all the domains, I will say 90 days. Maximum is 90 days. If you have 12 to 15 years of experience, you will not have problems in understanding the content, and you will be able to pass this exam within 90 days. All you will require is a consistent and dedicated effort. If you are somewhere between 8 to 10 years of experience, it will, I will say give it 30 days more, around 4 months. That has been my experience with my students. And those who have somewhere around 4 to 6 years of experience, say around 5 to 8 years of experience, they generally require longer times, because their exposure to complete processes is still not there. And there it takes around 4 to 6 months of preparation time, right? So this is generally what you will require to prepare for the exam. Now, who should appear? Anyone and everyone who is in the cyber and information security industry. Now, if you are a security engineer, architect, GRC, even if you are a CISO, you've got 20 years of experience. My present batch, there are people who have more than 20 years of experience, and they are still pursuing it. There are people who are working as risk managers with big companies, and they say that somewhere down the line, they now realize that they should switch over to information security, because that is one process with which they are well equipped with, and getting a CISSP will help them in shaping their careers in information security. Now, you have to understand that the information security application into the cybersecurity is relatively new. Okay, US, it is around 30 years old profession. India, it is not even 8 years old profession. As far as I know, people who have maximum experience are all either network security architects or clear-cut cybersecurity professional. But the role of CISO somewhere started coming around 5 to 8 years back. So that's why you have to understand that CISSP is relatively new in India, in the Middle East, and the Southeast. And that is where this certification holds a lot of importance. Having done multiple certifications, I can clearly vouch for it. And anyone who has done a CISSP will vouch for it, that there is no other certification like this particular certification. You cannot fudge this certification. You have no other path available other than preparing for this certification very hard. And this certification is expensive. You will have to spend somewhere around $1,000 to $1,200 to prepare and give this exam. So that's why if you're preparing for this exam, it shows your intent towards skilling yourself up towards this very, very difficult certification exam. Right. Now, how to prepare? A lot of people ask me how to prepare. There's no short. I'll say there's no shortcut in this certifications. But over a period of time, I have realized that if you give around 2 to 3 hours daily and 4 to 7 hours, 4 to 6 hours on the weekends, you have revised the content thrice. You've understood all the concepts, I will say not try to remember. I'm saying you have to understand all the concepts. If I ask you that if a device has to be locked remotely, then what is it that you will require? Okay, I am not seeking a technical answer. I'm seeking, is there a policy which exists to lock out a device in your organization if it gets locked, if it gets lost, right? Generally, you require 3,000 to 4,000 questions, practice questions. That has been the trend. I've been teaching for almost now 3 to 4 years, and that has been the trend. I've seen all my students who have done roughly 3,000 to 4,000 to 5,000 questions. They didn't have any problems, right? This is generally the trend. If you can stick to this trend yourself, you don't require any mentor. But yes, to do it, this exam alone becomes very, very boring. That's what the problem is. What are the resources that are required to prepare for this exam? Definitely CyBEX 9th edition. As of now, you have to stick to CyBEX 9th edition. There's no other shortcut other than this book. Okay, people might refer you a lot of books, but this book is the Bible. If you read this book twice, thrice, I will tell you that you will pass. There's no escape from CyBEX Practice Test 3rd edition. Okay, you need to have a mentor. You can have an online mentor, you can have a recorded mentor, you can have a mentor on the YouTube. I'm not saying you have to go and purchase something. No, not required. You can go, and there are a lot of recorded courses available. Get a mentor. You need to have a mentor. It may not be a live mentor. Live mentor does help because you can interact and ask your questions. But what I'm saying is you don't need to spend extra amount of money to prepare for this exam. If you have the dedication, if you have the will, you can pass this exam without even having a mentor. You can have YouTube as your mentor if required. And you need the discipline, you need the courage. Okay, a lot of time students prepare well and don't book the exam. I've seen so many students of mine who could pass within 60 days. They, with the fear of losing that $1,000 of booking that exam, $749, they didn't book the exam because they were not sure about that. So you have to have the discipline, you have to have the courage to push yourself and book this exam. I always tell, one of the best strategies of passing this exam, today you have attended my webinar, book your exam today, 90 days from now. Then you see the rocket which will propel you towards achieving the exam. Try this and you will see you will definitely study. You will find time for yourself no matter what to study. You will carry the book. You will not take tea breaks. You will not take lunch breaks. You will find those 3 hours for yourself. Okay, that is the dedication which is required for this exam. Expenditure planning, the exam costs you around $699, plus there is a peace of mind offer which goes. The peace of mind offer allows you to give the exam twice. I totally am against this concept. I say you prepare so well that you don't need to buy this peace of mind exam. It's just a way of earning some money by ISC2. Okay, if you are preparing yourself, then you might end up spending around $200 more for buying books and questions, online questions. Okay, that is the generally rough figure. If you're taking a trainer-led course, it can vary between $350 to as high as $5,000 in US and Europe. This is the charges. $5,000 are the live training charges. Additional resources you might require to buy some online questions. Okay, $200. So roughly, this exam will burn your pocket by somewhere around, I'll say, somewhere around $900 to $1,200. So it's an expensive exam to give, and you need to prepare pretty well for this exam because of being an expensive exam, right? And most of the times, organizations sponsor their candidates for this exam. So once you're ready, you now need to book the exam. When do you book the exam? I say my strategy is, if you are committed, book the exam today. Else, what I say is, once you've started scoring somewhere around 75 to 80% marks on your, practice exams, that is a good indicator that you have grasped all the concepts and you are comfortable with all this entire syllabus. That is the time you go and book this exam. How you book the exam? It's better to have a good, preparation buddy. You can have a friend who is also preparing. So in my present batch, there were 3 people who were, preparing within themselves. They all booked the exam on the same day and they're pretty confident that they will pass. So they booked the exam for 31st December because that is the earliest date available. You need to go to the Pearson View site, book the exam. You have to go physically to the Pearson View Center without anything, no watches, no phones, no pencil, everything will be provided to you. It's an online exam. You go sit, give the exam online. You don't move your head left and right, try to see here, there, because you are being monitored remotely and any unwanted gesture can disqualify you from the exam. So it's best sit exam, go and click the answers and move out. Okay. They have very, very high standards for this exam. And that's why you will see there might be many other certification holders of ISA, ISM, ISC, but CISSP, once you pass the exam, the level of, I will say, respect that you gain is there because CISSP maintains very high standards. ISC2 maintains very, very high standards for the exam. Right. Then once you have booked the exam, now you have to appear for the exam. So you should reach at least 45 minutes prior to the exam. It's a computer-based CBT exam. Presently, it has 175 questions in the present format, 2023 format, 175 question, 4 hours. Out of 175 question, 50 questions are test questions. So you do not worry about them. You will not come to know whether they are test questions or not. But generally, people who pass their exam shuts down automatically and 125th question. It's an adaptive exam. It will catch on to your weak point. So you have to be equally well prepared in everywhere. So the only strategy that works for CISSP, as I always say, is hard work. There is no shortcut to hard work. And that's why having a mentor who pushes you helps, right? Okay. Now, there is a certain change which will happen in 2024 exam. There are certain more additions. So those who are planning to pass this exam by March next year should start preparing now, okay? Because there are certain level of additions. A lot of course content has been added. And my course, which will start in January, will take into consideration the 2024 syllabus. So this is most likely my last batch of 2023 preparation. So those who are planning to pass this exam by March should start preparing now. Okay. So once you've passed the exam, there are post-passing requirements also. And I have helped a lot of my students in post-passing exam. You have to give certain proof of experience. You can take it from any reporting senior that you have domain expertise in 1 or 2 or 3 domains, right? Then you get the accreditation by ISA2 and you have to abide by the code of conduct. Then you have to maintain the certification. You have to study 40 hours per year, okay? And you have to submit that proof to ISC2. That can be done by watching YouTube videos, doing any other certification, reading any other book, and you have to submit these 40 hours every year or 120 hours over a period of 3 years. During this period, you also have to pay the certification maintenance fee, which is $125, okay? This is the syllabus, okay? You've got 8 domains. It is a management domain is domain 1. Domain 2 is asset security, how to secure your data. Domain 3 is how systems are engineered to protect themselves or how you can build, security around design, right? Then 4th is classical communication and network security, where we study the TCP/IP model and various other communication techniques and how to secure them. Domain 5th is identity and access management. Identity management and access management today is one of the most important parts of the entire information and cybersecurity domains, because if you are able to protect an identity and access, I think 90% of your work is done. Then domain 6th is how to test and audit security in your organization. Domain 7th is how to deal with everyday affairs of security in your organization. And domain 8 is software development security, right? Each domain has its own pluses and minuses, and you have to be an expert actually in all the domains. There is no, I will say, as I always say, there is no shortcut in any of the domains, right? So domain ones deal with how to plan security, how to carry out risk management, threat analytics, and business continuity planning, right? Domain two, as I take it, domain two deals with data, how to classify it, how to protect it, how to manage its life cycle, what are the roles and responsibilities who are going to protect this data, and how to maintain privacy. Okay. Uh, Domain three is security architecture and engineering, where you study different security concepts, their models, mobile computing, embedded computing, cryptography, and physical security. Right. Domain four is all about networks. So it is basically protocols, TCP/IP, network attacks, how to prevent and protect your networks. Domain five is identity and access management. How do you manage identities? What are access controls? What are types of access controls? And a large portion of identity and access management also deals with single sign-on, SAML, SSO. So these are the technologies it deals with. Domain six is internal audits, external audits, VAPT, and security control assessments. Whatever controls you have implemented in your organization, how to assess them. Domain seven is how to manage incidents, detections, how to manage access, and how to plan for any disaster recovery in your organization. And domain eight, it's about system development life cycle. Okay, software development maturity, how to handle software from end to end, from the beginning of making a software to disposing of the software, how to imbibe secure coding practices amongst the developers, and what are the common software vulnerabilities. This is straight from the ISC2 exam guide, right? So this is in general how I tackle CISSP. Okay, when I prepared, so much of content, so much of mentorship was not available. So today it is much more easier. So I recommend that, having a mentor by your side definitely helps you, right? Okay, so I've explained to you all about the exam. There is an exam change happening in 2024, and that comes in April, right? There's a lot of content addition. As I told you, the exam is being reduced from 175 questions to 150 questions, out of which 100 questions is what your exam will generally stop if you have, if you are appearing for this exam. Just right. So I've explained to you. Let's take a small questions by everyone, and let's see if you can answer this question. You can chat on the chat box. I will just enable the chat. Just a sec. Okay. So yeah, you can go on the Q&A panel, and you can, answer this question on the Q&A panel. You can just type out your answer. Yeah. So how generally you should attend these answers? A good strategy for answering questions in CISSP is a process of elimination. How do you eliminate? Okay, let's see what is the question asked. Question asked: a multinational organization is implementing a new cloud-based solution to store and process sensitive customer data. Okay, so there is a privacy concern here. Okay, the CISO is concerned about the potential risk associated with this transition. Okay, what is the primary responsibility of the CISO in this scenario, right? So is he bothered about technical architecture? Do CISOs bother about technical architecture? Okay, we have to see to that. Maybe not. I don't know. I as a CISO many times, I have gone into technical architecture, but that is because maybe I have been involved with architecture. Oversee day-to-day cloud operations. Does CISO is involved with day-to-day operations. For day-to-day operations, there are juniors engineers who are there, right? So this question is answer is out. Ensure compliance with local privacy laws. Yes, you can. But in this particular case, migrating from a particular on-premise solution to a cloud-based solution may have local privacy requirements of GDPR or something else. So it might be there, but it may not affect it. But it's also a possible solution. But what fits the best? Conduct a risk assessment and implement appropriate controls. Oh yes, but is C included in B? Yes, C is included in B, because when I'm doing a risk assessment, I'll try to find out what are the local laws which are applicable to a particular scenario, and I'll try to include local privacy laws into my risk assessment. So this answer is taken out. This answer as of now seems right. Develop a technical architecture for the cloud solution. Obviously, I'll do that, but that also I will do based on risk assessment. So all questions are, you're generally finding the answer converging to B. Okay. So let's see if it is B. So see, the answer is B. You can actually create a flow towards the answer. This is a good way of eliminating answers and seeing whether the other answers which you're choosing are subset of a bigger answer. CISSP tries to see that, overall horizon, whether you understand that horizon of the question answers, right? Then domain 2 is asset security, and let's see a small question from asset security. Right, you can answer on the Q&A. Right, so let's evaluate this. Which of the following is the primary objective of creating this asset inventory? Okay, you're trying to create asset inventory. So what is the main reason? Is it to ensure compliance with regulatory standards? It might be a requirement, but generally standards don't tell you that you have to maintain a, how do you manage your internal inventory? Streamlining incident response. By having asset inventory, yes, you can develop incident response mechanisms around the assets. It can help you in identifying and classifying information assets. Yes, but are these two related to this? Somewhat, right? Enhancing physical security measure, well, might be, but that's not the main role, right? So it is basically to find out, because unless you know what is there in your organization, you cannot protect it, right? So generally it would be to identify and classify information security assets, right? That is, so this is how you should prepare for your exam. And you can answer question and answers, and you justify each question and each answer once you are attempting such and you're preparing for this exam. So I had some more questions, but I'm not going to give you these questions now. You can, I have a free question set on my website. You can, these questions are picked up directly from there, right? So what I'm trying to say is, if you're planning to prepare, this is how you should prepare. Okay, take 90 days, do 3,000 to 4,000 questions in a manner which we did just now. Find yourself a preparation buddy, get a mentor if required, right? So we are starting with a live batch on 5th and 6th of December. This is focused on, so I got a lot of feedback from professionals that we don't want to waste our weekends. So I started with a weekday batch, which is starting on 5th and 6th of December, and it will finish by 24th of January. So you have almost 2 months to prepare and give this exam in the month of March. Okay, so those who are interested can let us know and can join the class. I've already told you what the post-program process is, but what after CISSP? Okay, you've done your CISSP, you got that CISSP certification. What is it that you should aim for? Now, one thing which is very, very common right now is the shift to the cloud, and getting cloud security, getting behind cloud security is a good career strategy for all those who are middle level and senior level professionals. Okay, I'm seeing a huge amount of requirement of CISSP holders in Germany, okay, and Middle East, okay, and rest of Europe. Okay, so there's a huge demand because obviously we are the hardworking lot, so we get a lot of certifications, and so I also have certain ventures in Germany and Middle East, and I see a lot of demand for cloud security professionals, cloud architects, security architects, network security architects. CISSP is become a must in all banks, all regulated entities, right? Uh, so that is what you can look into. You can get yourself a CCSP, or you can get AWS specific security specialty, or GCP specific, or Azure specific, right? You can also look into security architecting roles, wherein you can get CISSP, ISSAP. Not a very famous certification, but again, another difficult certification to pass. But yes, it will help you in doing your job better as an architect. Okay, GRC is now becoming one of the lead careers in the information security industry. Get a CISSP, get SOC 2, get ISO 27001, right? Please get these three will help you in shooting your career for next 5 to 7 years. Why doing CISSP is good? You are going ahead of people who are not doing it. I always say that. You have committed your money, you have committed your time, you have committed your hard work, and you have gone ahead of the people who took a decision of not committing themselves, and you have created a filter between yourself and the others who are in the race to go ahead in their careers, right? Any questions? I'm open to questions. You can please go ahead and ask questions. I hope I've been able to clear your certain doubts on a weekend. Well, this webinar was scheduled yesterday, but due to some personal requirements, I had to, you know, uh, postpone it to today. If you have any questions, please ask. You can unmute yourself and you can ask. Okay, I'm giving you the rights to unmute yourself.
Hi, sir. Ghazal this side.
Yeah, Gazet.
So, Varun Murli could not join due to some emergency, and he's asked me to send you a question.
Yeah.
Also, he sends his greetings to you. So, his
Okay.
question is that he is from a non-IT background and he
Okay.
wants to change his career. He
Okay.
wants to know if he's eligible to join the program and if there are any prerequisites for it. And also, is age going to be an obstacle because he's
I
in
told
his
you,
late
right?
30s?
The eligibility is nothing. You don't need any eligibility, but
Yeah.
yes, if he has not from IT, but he has worked in the domains of information processes, say he has been a manager, or he has been involved in audits, right? So he can prove that uh, evidence of having worked in the security testing field. If he has been there doing risk management, okay, so you can prove that you are working. But then you need to have the appetite and understanding of various IT, uh, the convergence of IT and infrastructure uh, requirements, right? So
Yeah, yeah.
that would be the answer to his question. Yeah, your mics are allowed to. You are allowed to talk. You can unmute yourself and ask a question if you have any.
He also wanted to know what kind of job roles can he expect after passing the certificate. So I think you've already kind of answered that in brief prior to the slide.
Yeah, if he's a switcher, if he's switching that, and then it's always you know uh, recommended to get into architecture or governance and risk compliance, rather than seeking a more technical architecture roles. Architecture roles at a broader level can be there, but risk management is one of the best professions for switchers. That's what I will give them, because in your early career is when you get hands-on and carry out security tasks. In your mid careers, you actually don't go into, but there's no stopping. I have programmed firewalls as late as 3 months back, so it doesn't matter actually. You can do anything anytime.
Right, right. Thank you so much, sir.
Yeah, any other questions from anyone? Somebody had raised a hand at that time. I think Zhao, you had raised a hand, or someone else.
Okay, Lim, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, fine, fine. Now, I just wanted to ask me, I'm doing SAP security and GRC consulting. And currently I'm doing a self-paced certified security, cyber security with ISC too.
Okay.
So
CC,
there's one that
certified,
yes,
certified in
this
cybersecurity, CC course, right?
yeah, CC, I'm doing that. So I just thought, let me just start with that so that I understand. But
Yes.
next year I want to try to tackle the CISSP. Do you think I'll be ready with that?
Yes, yes. You can be ready anytime you want. You just have to put in the hard work.
Yeah, I'm putting the hard work. My plan is to write the certification, the CC, maybe mid December.
So if you clear the CC, then I think don't take a gap. Straight away jump into the preparation. It will give you confidence.
Yeah, that was my plan. So I was just wanted to ask you about that. What should I do after I certify?
For CC?
Yeah, after I finish the CC,
Oh, jump into
as you're
CI.
saying,
We
okay.
can have a independent. We can understand your background. What is your educational qualification? What is your
Okay.
experience set? We can take we can understand how you have, whether you are fresher or you've been working for some time, and then we can suggest you whether you should go for CISSP or not. Okay. But
Okay.
going for CC certification will give you a somewhat of an idea as to how ISC2 conducts its exams, right?
Okay. No,
We
thank you
have,
very much.
yeah, we
Okay.
have a lot of students who are who are not experienced and have passed CISSP. They get the associate of ISC2, and then once they have the 5 years experience, they become CISSPs. So frankly, nobody can stop you. Okay, it's up to you.
So the experience is only on cyber. Like myself, I'm doing sub security and GRC.
Doesn't
So the
matter.
experience.
Even if you don't have the experience and you give the exam and you pass the exam, you will be given associate of ISC2. Okay.
Oh, okay. All right.
What
Okay, I
will
see.
happen is this will allow you to get this 5 years experience. The day you have this 5 years experience, ISC2 will grant you a CISSP badge. Got it? Till then,
Okay.
you will
Oh,
get associate. Associate will be there with you.
oh, okay. No, thank you very much. I'm done.
Yeah. Thank you. Any other questions from anyone? Right. So that's all from my side. We are providing, one of the best quality education at the most affordable prices. We have tried to keep our courses as affordable as possible. There is EMI also options available. You can pay it in 2 or 3 EMIs if you want to. We have our app also coming soon. Within next week we'll have app. If you want to prepare for this exam, we have more than 4,000 questions on our platform. You don't have to go anywhere else. We have adequate training material, everything available on our platform, and you save a lot of cost if you do training with us, because we almost give you everything. You don't have to buy anything else other than probably the exam voucher, which will cost you $699. We've also tied up with certain ISC2 partners who are giving end of winter sale. And right now, if you want to buy a voucher, it's costing you almost $549 through a partner who is providing it to you at a discounted rate. So we do have tie-ups with such organizations who let us know that they have certain offers running. Right. So if you have any queries, you can contact us, and I can only say that you can prepare for this exam yourself. Nobody stops you. But if you have a very, very dedicated and timeline which affects your career, I will recommend commit to this exam. You will not regret it. This exam is one exam. In my last 25 years of experience, I will say this was one exam which has propelled my career in all ways, propelled my knowledge in all ways. After migrating from a very, very rigid government domain, I've come to the corporate, and it has been very easy for me with the certification to maneuver my way in the corporate world. Okay, to be frank, I had the experience, but I did not know the terms. Once I did the certification, the roads just opened, and I'm doing multiple things. I'm consulting, I'm teaching, so that is the level of confidence it gives you. And it is from my personal example that I say that everyone, each and everyone into the information and cybersecurity profession should do this certification. That is the first thing. And second thing is, I have a YouTube channel which I have started, and I push a 10-minute content every day. Even if you see that content, one video every day, in next probably 90 to 100 days, you'll be able to pass this exam, right? That's all from my side. If you have any questions or doubts, you can ping us. These are our touch base points. We're starting with one course on December 5th and another course in January. So do let us know if you want to join that course, but still you can interact with us. We have a webinar every week. You can interact and clear your doubts or anything anytime, right? Thanks for being there, and see you guys soon. Thank you.
Thank you very much.